Hey everybody, Jim Gonzalez, EDI Support LLC. Happy Wednesday. It's a little dreary here in Pennsylvania, but hey, we'll deal with it. It's getting closer to spring and summer, and that's what we look forward to. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about something that is familiar to a lot of people in the EDI industry and why EDI onboarding is so slow for SMBs. So for your small to medium businesses, a lot of times you guys aren't getting the focus that's needed. When you're dealing with your different EDI providers, managed services, whatever you look at, they put you last, which isn't fair. Everybody should be treated the exact same, no matter if you're a small business, medium business, or an enterprise large business. We talk to so many SMBs that say our EDI onboarding has been going on for months and we still aren't live. That's the thing is there's endless email chains, unclear timelines, slow trading partner testing, or they're dealing with a ticket-based support. So there's delays with that. It's not a human. It's AI or it's chat bots. It's all of that wonderfulness instead of somebody actually getting into a meeting, a phone call, however that looks like, to get things pushed forward. So we hear you, we see it, and what I want to ask you is, how long did your EDI onboarding take? Weeks or months? What caused that delay? Have you addressed it with your EDI provider? Have you actually said to them, hey, listen, this is supposed to be up and running 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we're missing business. The trading partner is actually saying to us, why aren't you running? What's going on? Why are the delays happening? That's all of those things that you have to understand that, you're able to ask those questions. You're able to bring it up. Hey, Anton, thank you. How are you doing today? So when you're looking and you're thinking about these things, you have to understand, why do you think that's happening? Are you asking the right questions when evaluating the EDI providers? Ask them, hey, how long will onboarding take? Are we in a queue? Is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month? 4 weeks is a month. Who owns the onboarding process? Do we have to own that? And meaning the client have to own that. Do they own it? Do they have a dedicated onboarding manager? Who communicates with the trading partner? Who manages testing and certification? How deep is your team that's involved in this project? Is it only one person? Is it multiple people? You got to start asking these questions when you're doing these type of things, and especially when you're bringing along EDI, so that you have an understanding. What information do we need to start? Before we even start, what do I need to provide you? What do we need to talk about? What does testing look like? What happens if a trading partner is slow? How will we track the progress? What happens after go live? Is there hypercare? Hypercare is basically, how are you handling us after we do go live? Ask these questions, figure them out. We've created a smart onboarding checklist for people to download. The link is in the description. Read it, look at it. It's a full guide, and it's free. So why not? We put it together. Is it perfect? No, but it's a good starting point. It has a lot of valuable information. It's a good start for you to look at. I have people that reach out and say, oh, I looked at the guide and it doesn't have everything. Well, it has a pretty good start. It's a great value and it's free. Reach out to me. I'll talk you through these things. Many of the SMBs don't realize this isn't how onboarding has to work anymore. They don't realize that, hey, I don't need to be that invested into the whole onboarding EDI process. Why don't I have a team? Think of your EDI provider should be like your outsourced EDI team or department, where they're helping you. They're taking you through all this stuff. Why does EDI onboarding take so long? Some of the main reasons EDI onboarding is so slow and takes too long for SMBs is because of a limited internal resources. You've chosen the wrong EDI software, poor data quality, ticket-based communications instead of a live human. That gets ignored for days, Lack of clear project ownership. Who's owning it? Who's leading it? Who's taking care of it? Who's doing all of those pieces? Whether they're limited resources internally or externally, meaning externally at your EDI provider, when you're looking and you're dealing with them, is your provider, is it only 2 people that are on the team in total? Well, think about that. How many clients can 2 people take care of? How many clients can 20 people take care of? If your provider has 20,000 organizations, think about that. How does that work out? 20,000 organizations and they got 100 people. Do the math. How many clients are they taking care of per individual? That's a lot. And most people don't think about that. But you'll see on websites and meetings and everything else where people tout how many companies and how big they are and all of those things. You're stuck in the mapping queue. Hey, we'll get to you when we get to you. You have poor data quality. Small businesses may have inconsistent item masters, duplicate SKUs, or incomplete ship to data. All of that exposes gaps. If your ERP or your accounting system isn't set up correctly and it's set up as an integration with EDI, well, guess what? Those things and those issues are going to carry through to your EDI system. You're going to have an issue. Bad data in, bad data out is another thing that you got to think about. So as you're looking at this and you're thinking about, hey, why are these issues occurring? Sometimes you have to look at yourself and say, what did I do? Did I not ask the right questions? Did I not review information? Did I not gather these things? If you've never set up EDI before, you shouldn't be the one that's leading this. A lot of people have to declare who's the project manager, who's running this project. Am I having to push them or are they pushing me? Think about that. And then there's the hidden costs of slow onboarding, which what does that do? That delays revenue from if you're in the retailers, if you're dealing with retailers, the missed go live dates. So you might get chargebacks. Retailers give you compliance pressure saying, hey, you're not compliant. There's an issue. You'll have operational frustrations where people are doing things manually instead of in an automated way, especially integrated with EDI. So you'll have those different costs. You'll have critical pieces of a good onboarding process is a clear kickoff, scope the whole definition. So what does it look like? What are we doing? What's the business process? A dedicated contact person. Who's that person that you're going to deal with at the EDI provider? Or are you just constantly sending emails or chats into the abyss and you have no clue who that person is or if it's even a person on the other end? Think about those things. You're going to want to get a defined testing process and plan. It doesn't have to be written out, but it has to be figured out. What does the testing look like? And you're going to want to be able to have visibility into the progress. So they need to keep you on the emails. They need to keep you involved so that you can see what's going on. You're going to have trading partner testing. It's one of the biggest bottlenecks because trading partners, they have a list of people that they're trying to onboard when it comes to EDI. They have a queue themselves. So it might fall into how big of a client are you for them to how quick they respond to you. That's why you'll have partner delays. You'll also have testing that's not structured to exactly how you do the business. So you might be doing testing that doesn't make sense that you'll never have to deal with. If you never ship to a DC or a distribution center, as it's called, why should you have to test that? If you never ship directly to customers' houses, why should you have to test that? There's managing of multiple partners that are going on that trading partner side. What does a modern EDI onboarding timeline should look like? Well, account setup, mapping, testing, go live. It's not a lot of steps in that process. It's just some of those steps can be extended for a long period of time. If your trading partner stops responding, or you choose an EDI provider that stops responding, that's going to delay things. It's going to make things harder. So you have to look at what's going on there, how are those things happening, and the tips that I have, some of the tips that I say, listen, you're starting out with EDI, start with the largest trading partner. Why? It's the most impact. Gather the partner specs early. So whatever specs, mapping documents, and those type of things, communication information, all of that. Align your internal team before the implementation. Avoid onboarding too many partners at once. You got people that are trying to bring on 20, 30 trading partners at one shot. Well, that's going to be hard. Start with a smaller bucket of people. All of these things and all of these answers, they come easily to somebody that's been doing this for a very long time, but not so easily if you're brand new to it. So you got to remember, lean on people and ask the questions. And if you don't have people, reach out to me. I can help guide you, give you information. It's free. Grab a meeting, grab onto my Calendly, and we'll go from there. Most of those times we're sitting here and we're wanting to provide you advice and provide you insight into helping what's going on. Biggest thing that I want you to think about, and I want to leave you with for today, is if onboarding takes 6 months for 2 to 3 trading partners, what revenue opportunities are you missing during that time? What orders are not coming through because you're not on board with EDI, especially if it's a brand new relationship. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you today. I wanted to go through that. A little bit of a short one today. So I hope everybody does well. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, rest of your week. And if you need me, just reach out. Again, Jim Gonzalez, EDI support, and I will be talking to you again on a future Wednesday. Take care, everybody.
Meet Elevate, the modern cloud-based EDI platform designed for growing businesses that may or may not have EDI experience and deserve better. No installs, no servers, just secure real-time EDI that works for you anywhere. Get EDI compliant with 200 plus retailers like Walmart, Target, Chewy.com, Amazon, and more without the hassle of endless back and forth. Elevate automates every document, from purchase orders to shipment notices to invoices, so you can focus on fulfillment, not formatting. We set up your trading partners, map your data, and test every connection end to end. Once approved by your trading partner, you go live quickly and confidently. Have an ERP? You can now easily connect Elevate with your ERP via APIs, CSV, or XML, or use any flat files. All systems will now talk to each other. And when you need help, you get real humans, not bots. We're your EDI team, start to finish. Transparent pricing, no contracts. EDI that actually works for you. Elevate your business today with EDI that cares.